Hello, first prep students. Today we are going to continue our grammar revision. We'll start with present perfect tense. What is the form of the present perfect, or how do we form a sentence in the present perfect tense? With he and she and it, I put has and the past participle of the verb. What is the past participle of the verb? The third form of the verb. For example, the first form, for example, so, see. The second form, so. The third form, seen. Another example, the first form for do is do. The second form, did. The third form, done. So for example, I say, he has done. She has gone. Some verbs have only two forms, such as the verb buy. I say, he has bought. So the third form of buy is the same as the second form. If I want to form negative from he has done, for example, I will say he hasn't done. If I want to ask a question, it would be has he done? With I and you and they and we use have and also the past participle of the verb. So we say you have finished. We have seen. Negative, I haven't done. Question, have you finished? Have they moved? And so on. What about the keywords or the time expressions of the present perfect tense? Already, just, ever, never, since, for, and yet. Some students always get confused between the past simple and the present perfect, and I don't know why. He went home an hour ago. This is a sentence in the past tense. He went home, the verb is in the past, and I have here ago, which is a keyword for the past simple. So this is a sentence in the past simple. If I want to put it in the present perfect, he has just gone home, or he has already gone home. So concerning two keywords, just and already, are used in the affirmative case. What about the keyword yet? Keyword yet is used only in negative and question. So he hasn't gone home yet, or has he gone home yet? This means I cannot use yet in the affirmative. I cannot say he has gone home yet. No, this is wrong. If the sentence is in the affirmative, I can use just or already. The sentence is in the negative or question, I use yet. And don't forget that yet always come at the end of the sentence. What about never? Never is a keyword for the present perfect, which gives me a negative meaning. They have never visited Germany. They have never visited Germany. What about the keyword ever? Ever is used only in questions. Ever is used only with present perfect. Ever is used only in questions. Have they ever visited Germany? I have also since and for. Since and for also are two keywords for the present perfect, but they differ, or they have a little difference between each other. He has worked in this company for 5 years. I use for when I talk about a period of time, okay? But I use since when I determine the time or the date. So he has worked in this company for 5 years. He has worked in this company since 2015. So when I talk an interval of time or a period of time, I use for. But if I want to talk about a definite time, I use since. Now let's move to the difference between has gone and has been. Omar came from Paris last week. Omar came from Paris last week. This means that Omar visited Paris, or Omar has visited Paris and has come back. So instead of the two sentences, I want to say that Omar visited Paris and came back to Cairo. So I will say Omar has been to Paris. When I say Omar has been to Paris, this means that Omar went to visit Paris and came back. So Omar is now in Cairo. But Omar went to Paris last year and he is still there. So he hasn't come back yet. So if Omar is still in Paris and hasn't come back yet, I will say Omar has gone to Paris. So again, the difference between has been and has gone. If I want to talk about someone who visited a place and came back, I will say Omar has been to Paris. This means Omar has visited Paris and came back. But Omar has gone to Paris, this means he went to Paris and hasn't come back yet. Rewrite the following sentences, some examples. He finished his homework a minute ago. I want to use just. When I ask you to use just, this means you will change the sentence or you will change the tense of the sentence. Instead of using past simple, you are going to use present perfect. So he has just finished his homework. And take care that the word just and the word already come between has and the past participle of the verb, or between have and the past participle. It comes in the middle between the helping verb and the main verb. I didn't do my homework. I didn't do my homework. I want here to use the word yet. So instead of the past simple, I'm going to use again present perfect using yet. And as I said before, I use yet whether in the negative or in the question. So, I haven't done my homework yet. Have you done your homework yet? Yes, I have visited London before. Use ever or never. Yes, I have visited London before. I said before that ever is used only in the question and never gives me a negative meaning. So, I have never visited London. Have you ever visited London? Now, let's move to past perfect tense. What's the form of the past perfect tense? It's a little bit similar to the present perfect, but with all subjects I use had, and also I use the past participle of the verb. For example, he had finished, she had done, they had called. Negative, hadn't, plus past participle. Question, had she gone, had they finished, and so on. And here are some keywords for the past perfect. After, as soon as, before, by the time, because, and until. When do I use past perfect? I use past perfect always with the past simple. When I talk about two actions that happened in the past, but one happened before the other. So the oldest action or the action which happened first should be in the past perfect. Then the action which happened next should be in the past simple. For example, I had explained present perfect before I explained past perfect. This is what I have just done. I had explained present perfect before I explained past perfect. The two actions happened in the past, but one happened before the other. The most confusing thing about past perfect is determining which action happened first and which keyword to use, okay? Let's look at this example. Jana finished her homework, then she watched TV. So she did two things in the past. She did two things, but one before the other. So first she finished her homework, then she watched TV. So finished would be action number one, and watched will be action number two. And as I said, the older action or the action number one should be in the past perfect. And action, the newer action or action number two should be in the past simple. Now we are going to use the word before. Jana had finished her homework before she watched TV. After, of course, is the opposite of before. So we are going to form the same sentence, but we are going to switch the place of the action. Jana watched TV after she had finished her homework. The word or the keyword by the time, the action which comes after by the time should be the second action or the action in the past simple. So, by the time Jana watched TV, she had finished her homework. As soon as is the opposite of by the time. The action which comes after as soon as should be the first action or the oldest action in the past perfect. As soon as Jana had finished her homework, she watched TV. The last word is until. Until should always come in the middle of the sentence. Before until, I put the action in the past but in the negative. So before until, I put negative past simple. And after the word until, I put past perfect. Jana didn't watch TV until she had finished her homework. But take care that before using the keyword or before putting the keyword in the sentence, you have to understand the sentence well. And you have to figure out which action happened first and which action happened next. Now let's move to future tense using will or going to. So we can use or we can form future using will or going to. When do we use will and when do we use going to? Of course, these are some keywords for future: tomorrow, next, soon, and in the future, and tonight. How do you form future using will? Will plus verb in the infinitive. For example, I will study, she will travel, they will watch, and so on. When do I use will? I will be 16 next month. So this is a future fact. When I talk about a future fact, I use will and not going to. For example, Christmas will be after a month. Christmas will be after a month. It will rain tomorrow. It will rain tomorrow. This is a prediction. Prediction is like expectation. I think that something will happen. I think that something will happen. But I don't have any evidence or any proof that this thing will happen. So I will say, I think that it will rain tomorrow. I'm not sure. I think it's a prediction, expectation. The doctor is knocking on the door. I'll open the door. Something happened now, and I took a quick decision. I heard the bell ringing, so okay, wait, I'll get it. Someone is coming to my house holding lots of bags. Wait, I'll help you with them. This is a sudden decision. So I use will with future fact, with prediction without a proof or an evidence, with quick decision, something I have decided just now. I'll help you to do your homework. This is an offer. I use will also with offers. Will you carry the bag for me? Requests. So I use will for offers if I offer to help you or if I offer to do something, or with requests. I ask you to do me something. In these two cases, I use will. Or when I'm threatening someone, if you do so, I will do so and so. This is threatening, like your mother, for example. If you don't study, I will punish you. This is threatening. So I use future will when I threat. So again, when do I use future will? With future fact, with prediction, without an evidence or a proof, with quick decisions, with offers, with requests, and with threats. Now let's move to going to. How do I form future using going to? The same as will. I put verb to be or with going to plus also infinitive. So for example, I say, I'm going to travel. She's going to study. They are going to be, and so on. When do I use future with going to and not with will? I'm going to travel to Spain in summer. This is intention. What's the meaning of intention? Something I want to do or I intend to do. I'm planning to do it. I intend to do it. So I will say, I'm going to travel to Spain in summer. This is my intention. That's why I used going to and not will. Look at the black clouds. I think it's going to rain. If I say I think it rain only, I will say I think it will rain. But here I said I think it's going to rain because I have an evidence, I have a proof. I saw that the clouds are black. I saw that the clouds are black. So it's going to rain because the clouds are black. So this is prediction or expectation, but with evidence, with proof. Okay, thank you. See you later, inshallah.